Hello, and welcome back to the Buddies Much podcast. I'm Andrew, and I'm joined here with...
My name's Sean.
And?
I'm Chase.
And today we have a pretty unique episode for you. Today we're going to shake things up a bit. Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon.
Now, how is Pokemon shaking it up?
Well, what I thought we'd do is... not to brag, I'm a bit of a seasoned vet when it comes to Pokemon. I still keep up with it today. I know a lot of... It's exploded in popularity, but what I thought I'd do is... I've got Sean and Chase here, and I'm going to give you a little bit of trivia. So I'll ask one of you a question. If you don't know, we'll pass it back to the other person, see if they can get it. And then we can just talk off those points if we want. Or if not, we can just go on to the next question. How does that sound?
What's my prize for winning?
Your prize for winning?
Yeah.
I don't know, a gym badge?
Oh, yeah. No.
You want a gym badge?
Give me a gym badge.
We'll give you a gym badge that I'll have to make out of paper.
So what kind of questions you got about these Pokemons?
They're about Digimon.
There's some easy ones. I've got some hard ones in there, but I thought we'd use these as just kind of a talking point just because Pokemon's got a lot of weird facts with it. And again, it's exploded in popularity, so I thought this would just be a cool thing to talk about. So let's start with you, Chase. Are you ready?
Uh-oh.
I lobbed you an easy one.
Okay. Easy.
And then if you don't know it, we'll go to Sean. So, Chase, your question. In the first episode, a boy leaves his home village of Pallet Town to become a Pokemon master. What is his full name?
Are you talking about Ash Ketchum?
That is correct. It is Ash Ketchum. I thought I'd trip you up by the full name.
Yeah, see, when you say full name, I was like, I don't know his full
Oh,
name.
what's his middle name?
I did not know if he had a middle name, so I was just confident. And
He
delivered it. He didn't even.
It's actually, his last name's All, so it's Ash Ketchum All.
Ketchum all.
Oh, yeah, no.
Bonus points if you can tell me how old he was when he left to become a Pokemon master.
Fudge. 10?
He was 10 years old.
Very good.
Oh my goodness.
And what is the name of his father?
We're getting there.
Oh,
not his father,
okay,
not his father. But
right.
actually,
Professor Oak.
We're actually at another question.
It's Mr. Mime.
For Sean. Sean, what is the name of Ash's mother?
It starts with a D.
It does.
Is it,
Damom?
It's not Delilah.
I think that is how it's spelled.
Delilah?
Delia. Is that
Dyla.
Dyla? Delia?
Delia? I was close.
I always grew up, I thought it was Delilah. So
I get the points for that.
Yeah, you get the points.
I get the points for that.
Sure.
That's a one Chase, one Sean for those of you keeping track at home.
But we actually don't know what happens to Ash's dad. I'm pretty sure.
It's Mr. Mime.
No.
It's not
Professor
Mr. Mime.
Professor Oak made an unliving on him and went for the mom. That's why he sent Ash Ketchum away.
That's true.
Oh,
Hey,
your
your
mom's
mom-
single? Oh, no,
Yeah, I saw that.
you're gonna make the same joke.
Go catch them all, kid. All right, let's lob one back over to Chase. Charizard, you're familiar with the Pokemon.
Yes.
Very, very common Pokemon. Probably
The one with the cannons on his shoulder.
Probably the most common Pokemon, or most popular by today's standards, is a dual-type Pokemon. What two types is he?
Fire and flying?
That's correct.
Yeah, you got it.
I was
Yeah.
like, what?
I thought I'd trip you up because, believe it or not, Charizard is not a dragon type.
Nope, not
It
dragon
is
type.
not a
I knew
dragon
that.
type, which is weird because it is
Kind of like how
the sole embodiment of a dragon.
it's like that one tree Pokemon. He's actually a rock.
Sudowoodo.
Sudowoodo,
Yeah,
yes.
Hopefully that wasn't one of your questions.
Neither is Gyarados.
I mean, we're burning through the questions pretty quick. but
Gyarados isn't
That's right. He's water flying, right?
water flying. So maybe that was like, they were like, dragon's a stupid type. And then we're like, oh, we'll just make him flying. But then they came up with Dragonite, and they're like, okay, now we have to.
Yeah, and Dragonair. So
We do not promote you to rank of dragon.
yeah, now dragons. There's quite a bit of dragons now.
Isn't there like, they made an evolution of like an XY version of Charizard
Yes.
that is dragon?
Yeah, they did. Where it's there's one that looks like completely black, and then there's
Yeah.
its other form where it's red, and I believe it is a dragon type in that.
So
that
they
game.
loop back around to it. They
Yeah,
didn't
they
they
do.
didn't forget our boy.
No.
2 Chase, 1 Sean.
It hurts. Andrew,
right.
quick, give me a question. I need to be even.
Yeah, I got you.
Give him a hard one.
This is a tough one. This Pokemon is known as the disaster Pokemon in the Pokedex.
Is that Tentacruel?
It's not Tentacruel.
Ah,
Chase, you got it? You want to steal?
disaster Pokemon.
Is it like the disaster relief Pokemon?
No, it's just known as
Just a disaster
the disaster Pokemon.
Oh, I actually have a follow-up guess if you don't get it.
Is it part of the 151?
You don't get questions. You just got to guess.
Can I phone a friend?
Well, your friend is Sean.
Dude, phone
so
me. Phone me.
he'll
Dude,
get the
phone me.
point.
Tag me in. Phone me.
I do not know.
Sean, you want to steal?
Is it Absol?
It is Absol.
Oh, yeah, I got
It is
it.
Absol. That
Ooh.
is a tricky one.
Is that worth half a point?
Sure.
Or do I get the full point for
So I
stealing
still
the
have more
steal?
points. No, it was technically your question.
Did I steal the steal?
It was your question.
How many points do I have?
You now have 2. I have 2.
Sure.
Okay, all right.
All right. Let's do one.
Okay, so I just wanted to go back and I wanted to give you the reason why I said Tentacruel.
Oh gosh, are you thinking about the not the unaired
So,
episode, but the banned episode?
There's the episode where Tentacruel gets huge and just destroys a city. I think it was either right before or right after 9/11.
It was right after. Yeah.
So everyone was like, wow. It just took it down. Anyway, that's why I said Tentacruel.
There's actually that and there's
Lilo
been-
and Stitch. They had
Oh, did they have to?
they
ban
had to
Lilo and
change
Stitch?
they had to change the animation because they were taking down buildings with the
plane, yeah.
I did not know that.
yeah.
Wow.
So they actually had to change the whole animation to be in like a forest or something.
Well, they had to change it not from a plane to like a spaceship,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, I see. But
Bad
there's
timing.
been a couple banned or unaired episodes of Pokemon. I don't know if you guys know about the famous Porygon episode.
Is that the episode that James pulls a gun on Ash?
No,
That's it. That's the Safari Zone. That's different.
That's different. The Porygon episode is where they encounter the Pokemon Porygon, who's built through code,
Right.
and there was a lot of flashing lights, and it was giving kids seizures and stuff. And someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure after they banned that episode, Porygon has not been seen in the anime since.
Not the original Porygon, but they've
The
done
origin- yeah.
they've done Porygon Z. You know.
Well,
Stuff like
I since then they just shied away from it. And then the other episode you're talking about is where James has like fake boobs,
Yeah,
and he
that was
pulls
the
out.
cross-dressing James episode.
Yeah, he like cross dresses, and then he pulls a gun, just a straight up revolver out on Ash. Very out of place, very left field, but it didn't get banned in Japan, but it got banned here in the U.S.
I think there was another episode where like an old cowboy.
I think that's the same one,
Was that the same episode?
something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right, let's go back over to Chase.
2-2.
Chase, I'm gonna list 3 sets, and you have to tell me what card set they go to.
Oh
jeez.
my goodness.
Luck.
Triumphant, Undaunted, and Unleashed are a part of what base set or what card set throughout the TCG? Unleashed, Triumphant, and Undaunted
Now you're talking about card sets.
card sets. I'll give Sean a chance to steal, and then if he doesn't know, I'll give you guys like
Triumph,
a hint.
Undaunted, and what?
And Unleashed are a part of what TCG card set?
I'm trying. I can't remember the name, but I'm pretty sure that was like back in 2014, 15 maybe. Or is that?
I don't know the exact date. I just know, can you tell me a card from one of the sets?
Was my good old Blastoise one of those?
The Blastoise
My
wasn't.
Blastigator deck?
No, I don't think the Blastoise was a part of that one.
I don't know.
Sean?
I'm so bad at these
I'm
names.
blanking.
So this set, here's your hint, was the sets that released primes. So for Alligator Prime, Celebi Prime. Do you remember like the primes?
Yeah, I remember the
Do
primes.
you remember that set at all?
I mean, I remember.
I can't remember the names. Like
No,
that's super obscure.
Yeah, it is obscure. It's a hard one. It's a hard question. It's from the Heart Gold Soul Silver set.
Ah, okay.
One of my favorite sets of the TCG.
Was that the one? Was that the Celebi that your brother pulled? No, not
I thought that
Celebi.
was the Luxray.
Oh no,
Luxray.
Luxray was from Platinum Rising Rivals. That was a very coveted card back in the day because it was just really freaking good. And
And gorgeous.
yeah, it's a good looking card. It's one of the few that I still have that I didn't sell off. But yeah, he pulled one. He was very lucky.
I think he pulled 2 at that Target.
Did he pull 2? It didn't
I think it was
surprise me.
2 out of like the booster boxes.
Yeah.
Anyway, back
That's
when
right.
we like actually played.
Yes, fun fact, all of us actually in back in the day used to play the card game. And
Professionally.
professionally. Yeah, that's right. Professionally. And
This was
boy,
back
do we have some stories.
2010, 2011, 2012. I mean, it was all during high school.
Yeah, it was all during high
Was
school.
it only during high school?
Well,
was
I mean,
during
I
high
played.
school.
I played later as
Right.
well, and I still keep up with the card game. It's changed dramatically from when we played when we were.
yeah. It's back when basics were basics, and
Yeah,
and you couldn't
yeah.
lay down a 60 health Bulbasaur.
Well, remember when they introduced what was that double card? It was like the
legend cards.
legend cards. I hated those,
Really?
but they were never really utilized.
Yeah, they weren't that playable. They saw some play, but like, they tried doing it again with cards called break cards, and it just flopped hardcore. But now Pokemon it's. I had a little like with the card game a little bit of a love-hate relationship because the Pokemon the HP was getting out of control, and it was just changing dramatically, and now it's at the point where it's finally calmed down, but we're still seeing a lot of like VMAX Pokemon, which is the new like.
Well, and also good luck finding it in stores.
The Dynamax.
Oh yeah, you can't find it in stores anymore.
There's too many people.
Too many people scalping and flipping and all this other stuff, but
And little Timmy doesn't get his Pokemons for Christmas.
Wait, so back when
Dad?
we started playing, because I remember like all of our first tournaments. I still remember my first
tournament
deck.
like tournament or tournament like
Cities.
Okay, like a cities, sure.
Like I remember we were down in the local card shop in their basement, and there's this city tournament. You know, I remember my deck. Do you guys remember your decks?
I do remember my deck. I
My
was
first one?
Your very first
first
one.
like competitive deck. Or,
Yeah,
or
that we-
somewhat not competitive, but like something I built myself.
Yeah, the first thing with like actual structure. Because I remember when we were first trying to play, it was like, how many cards did we put in the deck? How many
Yeah.
like I remember throwing just random cards, being like, this is good, and then you guys being like, no, that's stupid, and I'd be like, fine.
You remember when our friend Matt, we were trying to teach him how to play, and he put an
yeah.
energy down as a Pokemon. We were like, you moron.
How could you?
We learned this yesterday.
Because I remember my first deck was the Blastigator, Blastoise for Alligator, and I carried that deck a long time.
That was a good deck, yeah.
Still carries it.
Yeah. My first deck was it was Dialga Chomp, but it wasn't the regular version. It played, because I was still getting into the card game and I didn't really know what was good. I knew that combo was good, and I threw in just healing stuff that didn't need to be there. But it was a version of Dialga Chomp, which I love that card, by the way. I still have it. But the deck that I really fell in love with was my first regionals, which was Gyarados.
Gyarados.
And that's the card I've got on my back.
The discard, the Magikarp Gyarados.
Yeah, and I actually did very well with that deck.
That was a nasty deck. I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that the deck where like at a certain point you were just invincible?
not in. I mean, you were hitting for 120, which back then, guys, was
With
a
one
was
lot.
that was a lot of damage.
You'd
It
one
was
shot anything.
Yeah, because you'd have an expert belt on it with the carps in the discard, and yeah, you were two-shotting, if not one-shotting, everything they had. But it had a couple bad matchups. No, not really. It just had Lux Chomp that was a bad matchup. But um, that was the same tournament where um, some guy like poisoned my Pokemon. So typically when your Pokemon gets poisoned, you put a poison counter on it. And he had custom poison counters that were marijuana leaves.
Okay.
Like it looked like a marble, but it had marijuana leaves on it. And the judge came over and he got a penalty for it, and like it was a little harsh, but it was funny, man.
He's like, your Gyarados is now just wasted.
Yeah, for real. But these were the kind of guys that would they were like a rough crowd. They had like cigarettes in their deck box, which is a weird flex. I don't know. Like, is that a flex?
At a Pokemon tournament?
Yeah.
It's like we're like 16, 17, and there's these 21-year-olds playing.
Yeah, and he's
They're
like,
these guys.
oh, wrong deck box. And I'm like, just keep them in your regular, like, it comes in a pack. Like,
It has a box.
Yeah, like-
you took it out of that box
To put
and
it
put
in
it
a
in a
deck
different box.
I remember that first tournament we played. I played that really old guy. Can't remember his name.
I know who.
Borderline creeper.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
But
he was known for playing super off meta stuff that like wasn't really good, but if he was lucky enough, it could just randomly destroy you.
Because I remember
He played Mew Purier, and no one's gonna know what that deck is. But
I'm pretty sure that's the deck he played
Mew Purier, yeah.
when he like destroyed. Because like I remember I won my first round. I was like super happy, and then second round I died, and then it was on my last round, and then I played him, and he just like obliterated me within like a few turns. It felt like.
Yeah, but let me ask you guys this. So I loved playing back in the day, and I still play a little bit online, just for fun. But it's a lot different now because like the games are a lot quicker. Where I mean, I'll take 3 prize cards in one turn because that's possible now. Like if you knock out a tag team or something like that, or if you're playing ADP and stuff, you're getting an extra prize. So it's fun, but it's a lot of
So complicated.
yeah,
More complicated than before.
and I feel like there's just not as many good decks and stuff. But I mean, that's kind of the. Anyway, those are my issues. If you ever were to play again, or what about Pokemon has changed that you don't like over the years?
Oh boy.
And another one for me, we'll get into this later because maybe it's like a big talking point. Is just they're making too many, but like, is there anything that you guys don't like that has ruined it? Like, is there one thing where like, oh, that sucks?
My biggest turnoff from the whole Pokemon everything.
Is it Pokemon in general or just
No,
the
Pokemon in
card
general.
game?
No, in general. In
Okay.
general.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. The biggest thing that turned me off from Pokemon was just the amount of Pokemon video games.
That's fair.
Because to me, they're all the same. They're just, you played. I remember playing. I have the Game Boy Color Pikachu edition. I remember playing. I think it was Yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Way back when, right? And I remember loving that game. And then the next game comes out, and you're like, "What is this? The same thing. Why did I have to buy the same game?" And even now, it's. I bought Eevee, the Pokemon Eevee, right? And I played a little bit, and I didn't like it.
I also didn't like the EV game, but that's for a different reason. But what about you, Sean? Is there anything that just...
I think the last Pokemon game that I got and played was what came out later, X and Y or Black and White?
Well, you had Black and White, and then
X and Y.
X and Y.
So X and Y was the last one I played.
X and Y was like Xerneas and Yveltal and stuff.
And I don't think it was so much the video games, because I actually do really like the video games. I think it was more the card game that, like, we were playing the card game for a long time, and I stopped playing because you had to have
Money.
money.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
like these big,
That's
mean, like, drop a 400 HP Venusaur turn one, and it's like,
Well, you had to have money to be good.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I kind of dropped off the scene for a little while. And when I went back, like, Alolan stuff had come out, and, like, I just didn't recognize anything, and so
Yeah.
it became too much of an effort to keep up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And I liked the idea of Alola, like that they found this island where Pokemon evolved differently. I just think it was too wacky for me. It like I think they could have made things more subtle, like similar to Shinies, where maybe they're a different color, or maybe they have like a one or two little features that are different because of the tropical region.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you
But
there.
like,
Because I think it's super stupid and lazy that they're like, oh, here's all this Pokemon. It's Executor, but he's like really tall.
right, I don't. I
And it's
agree
like,
with you. I think
that's
that's
dumb.
I think that's dumb. But I think some of them I thought were cool. I thought the Ninetales looked cool. I
The
thought
Diglett with the bro hair.
that was dumb. I don't understand that one bit. But they just keep coming out with new Pokemon, and it makes me appreciate the old ones. But I don't want to be the boomer that's like, no, only the 151.
We're not boomers.
I'm a boomer. I'm the boomer.
but
Sean's the youngest of us all.
the boomer mentality where it's like, I am a 151er. That's all I care about, because there's definitely that in the community.
That's me.
And then there's the kids who grew up with X and Y, and to them that's Pokemon.
That's like
And
the
it's-
OG, yeah.
Yeah, and it's super crazy to me. But like, even the newer stuff, I think it's getting a little much. And I mean, Logan Paul and everybody has kind of exploded Pokemon, and I feel like, at least with me, and sorry if I'm rambling, but like, it's kind of the same. My feelings are a little bit like yours with Star Wars, in the sense where I loved Pokemon. This was my childhood growing up, and now everyone and their dog likes Pokemon, and
I've always been a fan.
Yeah, and
yeah.
like, everyone's a collector, and that's fine because I want the community to grow big and stuff, but like, at the same time, it's kind of ruining it for everyone when
Yeah.
everyone is It's like,
Well-
it's not about the game anymore. It's just about scalping. It's about it's I
So
don't know.
during college, Andrew and I were living together, and that's when Pokemon Go came out.
That's true.
And the local library had some like random drop points there. And this was like when the game was first released.
The library synced up. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It like synced up where 3 Pokestops were at the same spot, so it was like a holy grail of
Yeah.
like places.
And there were so many freaking people there.
Yeah, it got bad.
I mean, it was only like a block from our house, right? And it was all day, all night, just people. And oh my goodness, I remember there was like random people just deciding, oh hey, we're gonna be like a vendor here, right?
Yeah.
Just selling like, I mean, everyone's gonna take an opportunity to profit off, stuff. But I thought the concept of Pokemon Go was really awesome until I witnessed that and everyone and their dog doing it, and I was just like, nope, I'm done. Like,
Yeah, it was cool, and it was cool to see everybody there. But like, when like these random DJs popped up and wanted tips, and then people were like selling the outlets,
yeah,
like
they'd
on the
sit in
outside,
front
yeah,
of the outlet,
and like,
yeah.
I'm just like, okay, this is too.
or the gas
much.
station right next door. They were having the little booster packs, and they upped the price to like $15 a booster
Yeah.
pack.
Just
And I remember after, because it was like a few weeks later, the community contacted the Pokemon thing. They got the Pokestops
yeah, they
removed.
got it taken down.
I remember those cards were sitting in that gas station. They're probably still there.
No, there's no way. But yeah, I get what you mean. But like, even nowadays, I mean, I sold off a lot of my collection and stuff, but I still do collect. But I hate going online and seeing people just they don't know what they're talking about, and they want, you know, they've got this random old Pokemon card, and they're like, you know, I want $500 for it. I'm just like, that's maybe $1. Like that's
Yeah.
and it's really hard to negotiate, and you've got people that just stand outside Walmart and they just clear out the whole shelf, and it
I mean, everyone's
it's
doing it nowadays.
tough.
It's terrible.
And I'll admit, like, I'm part of the problem because I keep things sealed, but I'm not sitting on tons and tons and tons and tons of inventory, and it's it's annoying. And luckily, Pokemon isn't like Magic, where Pokemon tries to reprint stuff into the ground. Like if they realize stuff's getting scalped really hard, they'll do a second run of it. And of course, people get really upset, but you know, I don't care because it's not about flipping and stuff. I hate seeing something I really love turn into something that's just getting used and abused.
Well,
and there's
'cause
no
it's those
there's
people-
no a lot of these, like, I mean, like the collectibles guru guy on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen him, but that's a guy who's just in it for the money. I'm sure if you did some trivia on Pokemon, like, he wouldn't know a single thing.
That's all
Maybe
the
I'm wrong.
scalpers are. They're, you know, the people that are sitting outside Target and whatnot, waiting for it to come out, are people that know that they can make a quick buck.
Yeah, it's the same
And
with the PS5. This is kind of a rant, but like
Yeah.
PS5s are still like $900.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And on Twitter, the Sony, they came out. Did you see that Twitter where they came out and they're like, we've sold over 10 million copies, and everyone just roasted them. They're like, oh, really?
To
why
six
are
people.
Why are they still this high? Like, anyway.
I think there's a special place in hell for those people.
Ooh. But let's go around, and I want to see. Give me your top 2 or 3 favorite Pokemon, so we end on a good note. I don't want to just be talking about scalpers. I could rant for days. Sorry, but give me your favorite Pokemon and your favorite Pokemon card. How about that?
Okay.
Blastoise is my favorite,
Favorite Pokemon is Blastoise.
of course, hands
Okay.
down. And then Charmander, and then Cubone, and then Squirtle.
Nice. And your favorite Pokemon card?
Rare Candy.
That's a really good answer. One of the few cards
I love rare candy.
that has seen play, like, still played today. It's never out of rotation.
I
a
thought
good
the whole
card.
concept of Rare Candy was just really cool. And because I didn't get the concept at first, so I'd like evolve it up. And then I thought you had, because you know, you'd have Squirtle, then you'd have
Yeah, Wartortle.
Wartortle, then Blastoise, right? Well, I thought you had to play the Rare Candy after Wartortle to make him become a Blastoise. I learned the hard way that that's not the way.
Now, there's 2 ways to use rare candy, right?
Or double energy.
Like you
Oh.
could
Colorless.
Squirtle, rare candy, Wartortle.
So that's how you know it back in the day. I don't
They
think it's
changed
like,
it?
yeah, it's
No,
not
no.
like that.
It would be
anymore.
Squirtle, Rare Candy, Blastoise. So you didn't have to carry the Wartortle.
But you could do
You
it
couldn't
the
do
other
that
way.
the same turn you laid down the Squirtle.
So like back when we were playing back in the day, you could go like Fampy, Rare Candy, Dawn Fan. That was a very brief period of time, and then they gutted that. The rule changed, yeah. But normally, you would play a Squirtle, have to wait a turn, then Rare Candy.
then rare
Blastoise.
candy Blastoise.
That is how we know it today.
Okay.
But
So yeah, Rare Candy or double colorless energy.
DCE, wow,
That's a good one.
how's it going, Sean? What about you? What's your favorite Pokemon? Your favorite Pokemon card?
Now, I'm torn.
It's alright. You can list off a couple.
I love Bulbasaur. He's my little boy. Ever since I started playing Pokemon way back in the day, they were like, choose one of these 3, and I saw that little boy, and I picked him, and he's my favorite. But I also really like Gengar. I think he's super cool. My favorite card?
It's that Sceptile, isn't it?
I was gonna say Tangrowth level X.
Whoa.
Just 'cause
All right.
It's not a good card.
No, it's not. But it's your card.
It's mine. I made
And
a
that's
I made a
okay.
really good again, good being a relative term, I made a deck with it, and it got really attached. Probably just because I played one guy with it in like a tournament.
Yeah.
And the way the deck works is you just pile energy onto one Pokemon and deal like a huge blow. And this guy was like letting me take turns just to see how high we could get him. And like the judge comes over.
So he was like being a good sport.
Yeah. And he's like, he called the judge over. He's like, check it out. This guy's about to hit me for 450 damage. I'd be like, yeah. Anyway, that's my favorite.
What about you?
My favorite Pokemon is Magikarp. Always has been, always will be. But I also really like Magnezone and just some other out there ones. But favorite Pokemon card is really hard because there's so many that I love. I loved all the Primes. I thought those were cool. I loved the Level X's. Those are my favorite to collect. But my absolute favorite is the Tail Revenge Gyarados, which is not a popular. It's not even an expensive card. In reverse, it's probably $6, but that's the card I have a lot of good memories with. So anyway, we could talk about this for forever. We have tons of stories about us in competitions. We have, but that deserves its own episode.
But did we finish the points? Are we 2-2?
Yeah, you guys are tied.
We're gonna have to do a tiebreaker next time.
Next time, we talk about Pokemon. I think what we'll do is we'll have a tiebreaker between Sean and Chase, and then we're gonna tell some of our stories at competitions.
Yeah,
because I know we all have them.
That's right.
I can
Even
think
the
of
pre-releases.
we've got funny pre-release stories. We've got funny stories about people getting penalties, people raging,
Funny judges.
Funny, yeah. So we're gonna have its own episode, Pokemon
Someday.
TCG someday, and we'll have a tiebreaker between you two. But hey, thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening.